The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Dengue cases continue to spike in some regions of the country. In Cagayan Valley alone, recorded dengue infections since the start of the year show an increase of 800%. Camille Samonte with the details.
Dengue cases have been on the rise in some areas of the country ever since the rainy season began last month. In the Central Visayas region, over 4,600 cases of dengue have been recorded from January to end May. This shows a 421% rise in dengue cases from last year. 38 of these patients died because of the disease. Areas with the most number of cases include Cebu City, Lapu-Lapu City, Mandaue City, Talisay City, and Minglanilla. According to the head of DOH Region 7's Dengue Prevention and Control Program, they did not anticipate this surge.
As early as now, we're seeing the rise in the number of cases, so it's high time that we become more vigilant and siguro we include the management of dengue integrate with our measures to prevent further spread of COVID.
Dengue infections have also spiked in Region 2. Around 2,014 cases were recorded from January to June. Regional Director Dr. Grace Santiago says this represents an 800% hike from last year. 6 deaths were also recorded. Most of those infected by dengue are aged 11 to 20 years old. The provinces of Cagayan, Isabela, and Nueva Vizcaya have all breached the epidemic threshold.
It's really an issue of concern already kasi mataas na siya. And although meron tayong cycle na meron talaga magre-reach ng ganitong klaseng threshold or it's already expected, but it's still an issue of concern. Kailangan talagang maging alerto yung ating mga local government units, lalo na ating local chief executives, na maggawa agad sila ng mga measures para hindi na lalo itong tumaas.
Because of the alarming rise in cases, hospitals in Region 2 have put up express lanes for dengue patients. The facility says they are also prepared for a possible surge.
Right now, ang ating mga hospitals are ready and hindi naman sila napupuno with the number of cases ng dengue lang. So marami rin naman silang cases na nakikater. Ang sa atin is that we are prepared kung sakali magkaroon ng surge.
In the city of Manila, no spike in dengue cases has been recorded yet, but its Disaster Risk Reduction Management Office says it's also preparing itself for this possibility. The Manila DRRMO is now conducting fogging operations in schools, as well as community cleanup drives focusing in mosquito-infested areas. DRRMO Director Arnela Angeles says they also have equipment that tracks barangays with reported dengue cases. The DRRMO also leaves this reminder to Manila residents so they can avoid catching dengue.
Yung pong ating mga botelya, mga gulong po, kung maaari po, o yung pong mga na pag-iimbakan ng tubig na hindi na napupuna, na nagtatagal na po, ito po ay nagiging breeding ground ng ating mga mosquito at nagkakaroon po ng mga kitikitian na nagiging dahilan po para lumaganap sakit po sa ating lugar. Kaya po sabi nga po, panatiliin nating malinis at ligtas ang ating lugar.
For News 5, Camille Samonte, we are One News.
Incoming National Security Advisor Clarita Carlos says people shouldn't use the word terrorist lightly. In an interview with the chiefs, Carlos pointed out that there is no official definition for the term terrorist since it is so, quote, politically laden. She added that using the word to describe someone comes with dire consequences and implications.
Sana wag nating gamitin na loosely yung word na terrorist. Tignan mo yung social science literature. Walang isang definition ng what is terrorism. Definition of terms are very, very crucial. No? That's why precision in the use of terms is important. Wag mo nang gamitin yung word na terrorist. Sabihin mo siya, hijacker siya, tapos criminal siya, tapos namamatay tao siya, murderer. Andiyan naman lahat sa penal law siyang, titles na yan eh. Kasi yung word nga na terrorist ay napakarami niyang political and financial implications, especially as it is used by the Western world.
Carlos also maintained that she hopes President-elect Ferdinand Marcos Jr. will be a Machiavellian leader. According to her, a Machiavellian is a person with moral probity and knows how to read the public good. She added that people who haven't read Niccolo Machiavelli's The Prince has no standing to debate on the meaning of the word.
People who have not read Niccolo Machiavelli's The Prince and the Discourses have really no business debating, no, on what Machiavelli means. Kasi yung Machiavellian prince, no, the Machiavellian leader, has the moral imperative. He must be a moral a person with moral probity, and he knows how to read the public good. Basahin mo muna yung Discourses at saka The Prince bago ka makipag-argue sa akin.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Jeepney calling for at least a 5 peso increase in fares, despite the LTFRB insisting that the 1 peso increase fare would result in a 400 peso increase in earnings for jeepney drivers. Gerald de la Peña with the details.
Jeepney drivers in Quezon City have started charging the 10 peso minimum fare to their passengers. This is after the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board, or LTFRB, approved the 1 peso provisional fare hike for PUJs on Wednesday. The fare hike is effective only in Metro Manila, Central Luzon, and Calabarzon, since there are no similar pending petitions in other regions. The LTFRB said the number of public utility jeepneys in NCR went down by almost half compared to the past month.
So what prompted us na i-approve yung board to approve the 1 peso increase was the thinking na in balancing the interest, at least kung piso yung i-increase natin, on the one hand, yung commuters hindi naman siguro gaanong masasaktan, especially in the light of the recent wage hike.
However, some drivers insist that the 1 peso increase is not enough.
Kahit pa paano, nakatulong naman din po, pero hindi pa rin po yun sapat sa pagtaas ng diesel.
Bitin pa rin.
Napakalaki po ng tinaas ng diesel ngayon.
Baliwala rin yun eh.
Kasi po,
Kasi nga, merong tataas din yung boundary namin nun. Tapos, yun nga, nadagdagan ng 300, tapos, sa crude rin mapupunta.
Passengers also feel the pinch, although some of them have already been paying 10 peso fares for the past couple of weeks.
Mahirap kitain yung pera kaya mahirap kapag 10.
Medyo malaki epekto kasi 4 na beses ako nagji-jeep eh. So 4 pesos sa akin yun. Pero nakatulong naman sa kanila eh.
Transport groups requested the 1 peso fare hike, while they are still waiting for their petition for a 5 to 6 peso fare increase to be approved. The LTFRB said that they will deliberate on the matter on June 28. For News 5, Gerard De La Peña, We Are One News.
But basic needs getting more and more expensive. How does one tighten one's belt? An expert gives us tips on how to save money, whether it be for gas or food. Mobile journalist Pamela Vasquez shows us the ways in this report.
From basic goods to fuel, prices of daily essentials have been making a dent in everyone's wallet these days. Just this Tuesday, a big-time oil price hike was implemented and another round is expected next week. Question is, how can one stay on budget and still save money? Financial expert Vince Rapisura tells 1PHS sa totoo lang, in order to save on gas, one has to travel with fuel efficiency in mind.
Planuhin talaga natin kung saan tayo pupunta, ano yung mga trip na gagawin natin. Kung pwedeng magsabay-sabay na lang tayong lumabas ng bahay, hindi na magkanya-kanya.
Aside from carpooling, he also encouraged taking public transportation. Rapisura added that motorists should consider filling up their tank at gas stations away from main thoroughfares.
Tumingin tayo dun sa mga out of the highway kasi usually mas mahal ang overhead ng mga gasolinahan sa mga main thoroughfares.
He also advised the public to take advantage of promos, such as cashbacks or rebates offered through credit cards. Meanwhile, for grocery shopping, Rapisura added that one must carefully plan ahead to cut costs and avoid unnecessary expenses.
I-avoid natin yung impulse buying kasi kapag tayo ay gutom o kaya pagod tapos doon tayo mag-grocery, mas mayroon tayong propensity to spend na hindi na natin pag-iisipan. Sa supermarket, meron kasi yung usually na sale portion. Pwede mong tignan doon.
And with everything now available online, Rapisura said that it's also important to consider whether it's worth it to shop yourself or order off the internet instead, as delivery platforms also offer affordable fees. Mobile journalist Pamela Vasquez, We Are One News.
Here's a quick look at some of today's headlines. The incoming press secretary says vloggers may be allowed to cover the palace, but that doesn't make them actual journalists. The incoming National Security Advisor says she's not interested in red tagging and will instead address the root cause of insurgency. Two losing candidates for the presidency failed to file their sources before the deadline. And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 11 in the morning as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.